Hello everyone, welcome to another data science related tutorial by Team Slidescope. In this part, we are learning about creating an interactive Power BI dashboard with Python Seaborn library visuals. So all these visuals that you are seeing here are created with the help of Python scripting. We have imported the Seaborn library, Matplotlib library. Seaborn library is a popular library that is used to plot different kind of plots. So we will apply all of that in Power BI, and these dashboards that we are creating or these visuals that we are creating are not only just visuals, just static images, but for example, if we are trying to apply different filters over here like regional filter, you can see, or you can apply any kind of other filter. For example, you can bring channel as a filter. So let me just show you. So I will clear that. And what if we bring channel as a filter? So you will be able to see that on the basis of different filters, it can be any field, you will be able to see the change. Okay, and change like for SMS channel, what is the campaign success ratio? You can see for SMS marketing, we have more successful campaigns, around 60 of them, and 40 were not successful. So this kind of analysis will be done in this project. So let's get started with it. And just to introduce, to get started, I showed you three visuals, but I will create some other visuals as well. Hello everyone, welcome to the part 2 of marketing campaign success prediction with Power BI and AI, where we are using Python in particular. In this part, you will learn how to create these visuals. All these visuals are created with the Seaborn library of Python. Some of them are native Power BI, just to show you that they can work together, and we can use these interactive filters to filter them all. They are not just static images, they are actually interactive graphs that are created with the help of this Python visual. You will see the complete tutorial on Python scripting to create these different visuals that we have here. So let's get started with that. So the data set that we are using here in this particular tutorial is the campaign success prediction data set, which we used in the previous example where we created the entire Power BI dashboard, right? So marketing campaign success prediction. So with Power BI and AI. Now just to introduce Python, we are using the same data set. So in the data set we have campaign ID, marketing campaign ID, what channel this marketing campaign used, what average audience size was there when we ran the campaign, what was the budget, for how many days it ran, its click-through rate, conversion rate, region, its product category that was being marketed, previous engagement, time of the year, campaign success, and this is the budget bin that was created. So you can ignore it for now. Now, when we have to create a dashboard like this, where we have to use Python visuals, so let's open a empty page here. In the empty page, we will simply create a text box, and as you can see in the text box, we will just copy this, whatever we are doing here. So here I will just copy the text, and I will just use it like this. So here you can see we have our text ready. We can go to effects, shadow, visual border. This is completely native to Power BI. No, nothing extra is there, and we can give some visual border, and this way our dashboard visuals will be ready. Now here, since we are going to use Python visual, so this is very important for us. When you add a Python visual, Power BI may ask you to enable Python visuals. Okay, so for that you can go to file, and from here you can go to option and settings, options, and in options you will find Python scripting. So what we have done here, we have used Anaconda Navigator's path here. So we have installed Jupyter Notebook, we have installed Anaconda Navigator. Okay, so if you are familiar with Python, um, data analysis with Python, you know that you can use Anaconda Navigator to create or to run self-hosted Jupyter notebooks or local hosted Jupyter notebooks. Or if you have your simple Python, like we have Python here, so you can open the file location. You will find where Python is installed, right? This is the shortcut. So you can investigate further, and then you will see this is where your Python is installed. So you can browse and select that library. Okay, and detected Python IDs default to as program for Py files. So make sure that Python is properly configured here. This is very important. Now, after doing that, when we are creating visual, so this way Python script editor will come, and in Python script editor, whatever you want to visualize, first you have to select those columns. So in the first visual, what we are doing here is we are analyzing campaign success by channel. Okay, so we ran different campaigns and we want to see campaign success, and campaign success is given as either 0 or 1. So this can be considered as a, this can be considered as a categorical column, like yes or no kind of value. So we are doing campaign success by different channel. We want to know whether radio, SMS, TV, which one of them was more popular. So while creating the visual, what you will do, we will always select campaign ID because there we have all the unique values. Then we will have the campaign success column. So this is the campaign success column. So when you are selecting them, you can see Python visual is already preparing this data set for you. So data set is equal to pandas.dataframe. So pandas library is by default imported here, and in pandas library the data frame is a class which can create a 2D structure, right? This 2D structure has rows, columns, and index. So it's just like a table view, you can see. So in pandas data frame, you can select n number of columns that you are selecting here. So we have selected campaign ID, campaign success, and channel. We don't need to select everything every time. Like for example, when we are trying to build this visual, we are selecting campaign ID, campaign success, and channel. Now first thing is to import the library. So we will import Seaborn as SNS. We will import Matplotlib .pyplot as PLT, because these two libraries will help us in creating the plots. Matplotlib library itself is sufficient to create the plots, but Seaborn has more, you know, advanced type of plots, like which you can see here. For example, distribution plot, his plot, KD plot, rug plot. I will show you some examples. So that's why we are using Seaborn library. After doing that, one simple thing that I do is I write df is equal to dataset. So data frame is equal to dataset. So because Python stores the dataset value here. This is optional, but now I am storing everything in df. Okay. So in Seaborn, suppose this is the official documentation of Seaborn. Let's say on Seaborn you have to create a bar plot or a count plot, because we want to see how many successful campaigns are there, right? So here you will also see a count plot. So count plot. Now in count plot, first of all, let's see what kind of graphs are created. Okay, suppose we have three classes, first, second, and third class. So a count plot will give us information on how many values of each uh, kind are there. Okay, so here we write sns.count plot. There you write your data set name, you write x, and in hue you can write something else that is categorical. So when we are creating this graph, we want to see campaign success by channel. So we will count how many channels are there, and then we will put campaign success as a hue. So when you will, hue is color. So when you will put something as a hue for every channel, like here you can see for every channel, like email, mobile, etc., etc., it will create two plots, right? So for that, what you will do, you will just write, you can simply copy this, right? So you can write sns.count plot Titanic. There they, as an example, they are using the Titanic. We are using df. X in our case will be channel, because we want to see channel wise. Make sure you are writing the same case here. And hue will be our target field, that is campaign success. So when you will write that and run, nothing will happen. Okay, so because you can see nothing is happening, it says no image was created. Now remember, whenever you are using Python visuals, and that's the whole purpose of importing matplotlib.pyplot, we just have to use plt.show to create that image, that visual. Okay, and this will show us. Again, this is a simple way of using this style, and here you can see we have a simple visual. Okay, and here the default palette is selected, and you can see in radio we have most number of successful campaigns, and then in SMS, then you can see for every channel they are not arranged, but you can see 0 represents unsuccessful, orange represents successful. Here I will give you this code also in one file, and in the code you can also use some other kind of palette. So for example, you can set style as white grid or use other kind of palette. So that's what we have done in this first part. So here I have used the palette that I have used is a white grid, and you can see, so first of all, the style that I am using for the visuals is white grid. You can use sns.set white grid. In count plot, we are using x is equal to channel, y is equal to hue. Okay, so here x is equal to channel, y is equal to, and hue is equal to campaign success. Then you can also show it like stat is equal to percentage. Okay, so you can use that as well, or just use palette. I will provide you all this code. You can also uh, give some size to your visual. So for example, here we can use palette is equal to set to, and finally if you want, you can set title from here, but since we are using it in Power BI, the titles will be set from here. Okay, so this, so simple title for this will be campaign success by channel, and when you will put that, we can use text color as this color and align it to center, apply 15. So this will create the similar kind of graph that you saw there. So campaign success by channel, we can increase its width and height a little bit. And here what we can do, obviously one more thing, like we have displayed the title, we can increase it height, we can make it bold, etc., can be done. And when you will increase its height, it will be responsive, so it will take that container. Now in this container we can go to effects, we can enable a shadow, a visual border, and we can select some border color from here and apply like this. So this is how you can create your first visual. Then what this visual is representing, this is when we have to see conversion rate, like conversion rate is kind of representing our success, right? And campaign success is either 0 or 1. So conversion rate and CTR, that means click through rate of the campaign. So you saw an advertisement, you clicked on it, so click through rate is 2.62 percentage, right? So click-through rate and conversion rate, on the basis of click-through rate, what is conversion rate? We are just seeing that. So when you have two numerical values, you can create a simple scatter plot in Power BI also. Here also, we are creating a simple scatter plot. So here, since we are selecting three elements, which is CTR, conversion rate, and campaign success. Okay. So now you will just create a pie visual. Let me show you in blank. So you will just create a pie visual, and in pie visual you will select, for example, here we want CTR, conversion rate, and campaign success. Okay. And now you will create the simple graph. For example, we have the graph here. So here you will create sns.scatterplot. In sns.scatterplot, same arguments, data is equal to df. Your x will be something that is independent, that is your click-through rate. Y will be on the basis of click-through rate, how much, what is the conversion rate, and hue, that is color. So we are categorizing as campaign success. So we will simply copy this entire thing. So import Seaborn, import Matplot, sns.set. So for all visuals, this is a weird thing, but for all visuals we have to do this. And just after these comments are finished, you just have to create that. And then your second graph will be created, right? And as you did for earlier graph, you can enable visual border, shadow, you know, you can choose a different type of color for your borders, and you can also make your title bold, increase its height, make it center, align it center, use bold font. So you can use it like that. For your border, you can give some kind of rounded shape. So all of that can be done here. So this is how you can create the second chart. For the third chart that we have, quarterly budget. So here now you can understand, we want to show quarterly budget. In the data set, time is given as quarter only, like quarter 1, 2, 3, 4. So we want to see quarterly budget, and for every quarter, so you can see for all the successful campaigns for different quarters, what is the quarterly budget, and for unsuccessful campaigns, what is the quarterly budget, which kind of gives an indication that on the basis of quarterly budget, we can, like, if quarterly budget is more, chances of having a successful campaign are also more. So here, same thing, Seaborn, Matplotlib, we create data set. Here the plot that we are creating is a line plot. So we have seen a count plot to count of different categorical values in your data. Then we use a scatter plot to create relationship between, to find out relationship between two numerical values, like if you increase one, what is the effect on other. Then this is line plot, suitable for something related to time when it is on x-axis. So we can create a line plot. That's why on x-axis we are putting time of year, y-axis we are putting budget, and hue, that is our target field, which we are selecting as campaign success, whether 0 or 1. So we have created this. So let's copy this, and we will simply put it here. Now to create the interactive filters, okay, we have some area over here which we can use for creating filters. So to create a filter, we use a slicer. So we will put a slicer over here. Let's reduce its width because we need to create more slicers. We will use format painter to format everything, and in the slicer the first thing that we will bring is our channel. Our channels can be email, radio, etc. In slicer setting, in previous example I used tile. Okay, so when you will use tile, you will be able to see that it will create a button like effect. So just we can see tile, email, radio, etc. But if you will show it like a drop down, then also it will be easier for user to interact with. Now here we have a slicer header. Let's select a different color. Let's select a green color for our heading. Then it is channel. We can increase its height, and these are values. So for values we will select a blue color as we did in previous example also, and we will select bold. So now we have channel as a filter, and we will create another copy of it. Okay, and since we have selected channel, second thing that we have selected is quarter. So time of year, which can be a quarter, we will select here. So let's say performance in quarter 1. So you will see it will filter everything. Okay, because here we are showing quarterly, so you will be able to see that. And we will select quarter 1 and 2. Let's see. Now you can see this graph will pick both the quarters, right? So this way for every quarter you will be able to see the performance. Obviously this will be little bit slower than native Power BI visuals, but here we are just exploring if we can create some hybrid kind of report, right? It's not necessarily that you put all Python visuals here. Let's say we want to include one visual here where we want to see product category wise, uh, you know, conversion, average conversion rate. So we can bring product category here, and in values we can bring conversion rate, and we can bring average conversion rate. So this is a native visual, right? A native to Power BI. So we can include that. Just I'm showing you, and these all will work together like a family. So here also we can add shadow, visual border. Obviously I can copy them, copy the styling, but I have seen when I copy styling from Python visuals, it somehow interacts with like it resets something. So I'm just not doing that. In title we will simply choose this color, make it apply, align it center. So this is average conversion rate by category or product category, whatever you want to write. So this we can show here, and we can make it bold. So this is our native graph, and you can see these filters will work here. So this is faster, but they will take some time to load. But now this gives us more versatility. This gives us more freedom to use our Python knowledge or Seaborn's library, because in Seaborn's library there are some visuals which are really great, and particularly in Python also, right? We can apply different type of machine learning visualizations here, which we will cover also in this project. We are using all of this, right? We are using marketing campaign success prediction with Power BI. Then we are just demonstrating how to use Seaborn Python's library for it. And then after exploring everything, we will apply some machine learning algorithms with the help of the sklearn library. Here I also want to show you the use of some other plot. For example, that is not there but in you know Power BI by default. For example, we want to see distribution of something, so we have histplot, histogram. Histogram is not by default there in Power BI, although there are ways to create histogram. So here in histogram you use one single variable. Okay, so we want to see distribution of something. For example, like what is the distribution of total budget, right? Or audience size, anything. So we will see budget here, and for that let's create a visual. So in this visual, what I'm going to select is campaign ID and budget, these two things. Okay, then I will import Seaborn as SNS, etc. So let's copy quickly. So I will just copy this much because this will be the same for every graph. Now to create a histogram plot, we write sns.histplot, right? So we write it like this, sns.histplot, and x in data set we will write df, and in x I will write budget because that is what we want to see as a distribution. And then you can use palette etc whatever, but here when you will do that you will see the distribution, and again we have to write plt dot show in order to show the image. So when you will do that, it will start showing us a simple distribution, right? Now let's explore other parameters. So that's what you have to do as an exercise. Here there are many other parameters like bins. How many bins do you want? Currently the bins is equal to auto. Okay. Element is bar. So bins, let's say we want to show 5 bins. Currently there are many bins, right? So we can say bins is equal to 5. Let's try that. So when you will do that, so it will show us 5 bins. So this is important, and what it is showing us that campaigns in budget range of 0 to 5,000 are more, or 25,000 to 30,000 are more, in the range of 15,000 are less. So this is showing us distribution of campaigns on the basis of budget range. So this is maybe 5,000, 5,000 to 10,000, 10,000 to 15,000, 15,000 to 20,000 to 25,000, so on, right? Now as a hue here also, if we bring campaign success, so but I have not selected that, so let's select campaign success. So as a when I will select campaign success, I will simply write it here, campaign. So it technically it should show us the distribution, right? So now it is showing us that when the budget is more, okay, it will adjust itself. So when the budget is more, we have more successful campaigns, okay. When the budget is less, we have more unsuccessful campaigns. So this is what we can get from here, and this is why it is very important. So now we will do the same thing, enable that. Actually I tried copying the formatting, but somehow it resetted everything, so I'm just doing it manually every time. So this is distribution of budget and success, or like campaign success, and we will align it to center, make it bold. So this way we can see, how on the basis of budget distribution we have more successful campaigns, and this is something that is evident from this particular quarterly budget and success also. Now there is one more interesting plot in Seaborn, that is called a joint plot. So they have given example of penguin dataset where penguins bill length and bill depth. They are trying to see the relationship between bill length and bill depth, and we are also seeing the distribution of these two numerical values on the top. So let's try whether we can build this in our case, the campaign success data set. So again, the simple thing is, first let's create a pie chart. What I want to analyze is if they have some previous engagements, right? So if they had previous engagements, then on the basis of previous engagements, what is the effect on conversion rate, or what is the effect on CTR, right? So you can select any one of them, or even we can simply select campaign success, because in campaign success we have either 0 or 1. So but we will select previous engagement versus conversion rate. So the values that we are going to select is campaign ID, which because it's unique, so we are selecting it every time, previous engagements, and conversion rate, and campaign success. Okay, now we will do the same thing, copy this thing here, and now we will use the join plot. So sns.join plot, which takes x and y. So we will provide x as how many previous engagements did they have, and on the basis of that, what is conversion rate, and write plt.show. Okay, let's try to create the visual. So it is not showing. Let's see why. And before seeing why, I can see the data is different. So I forgot to change the data set name. So let's see. So now you can see that graph. First, we are going to change the title, which is previous engagement versus conversion rate, right? Versus conversion rate. Let's use 15, make it bold, choose this color, align it to center. Now we have the graph. So what this is showing us is that there is no evident relation between previous engagement and conversion rate. First of all, like we can see, it's not, we are seeing some linear trend or something. So this is scattered all over the place. In terms of distribution of previous engagements, you can see we have more cases where previous number of engagements are 80, and similarly in case of conversion rate, we have more campaigns with conversion rate between this range, 1.6 to 1.75. This is what we can see here. And since more, all of the graphs in Seaborn support hue, like in hue we can put our target field. So you can see here that we can see the campaign success. Now there is an interesting thing. So all the successful campaigns are when we have more previous engagement versus conversion rate, you can see. And unsuccessful campaigns are when we have less number of previous engagements and successful rate. So that means these two variables are very much important for us to put in our machine learning model. And you can see the distribution also, like more number of cases are of successful campaigns here. And this is how what distribution is showing us. So from these two plots we can see the example. So this is very important chart and very useful, I will say, to understand the effect of conversion rate and previous engagement, like what sort of values are affecting. So that means if we create a campaign that can drive more engagement, so we can drive more conversion rate also, and hence more successful campaigns. That's why you will see campaigns which have more interesting things, like people don't skip those advertisements or some kind of text that works like a clickbait kind of thing in a positive way, or distracts people in a positive way. Those type of campaigns work well because those have more click-through rate, and once we have more click-through rate, then obviously our chances of success are also there. But obviously when people go to your landing page, so then also the content quality of your content should match everything. So this is very important. And now this is what our simple Python visual tells us. So this is part 2, where after doing it in Power BI, we are doing it here, and we have full chapter of Seaborn. Like we have our Udemy course where we have taught data analysis using Pandas, Seaborn, Matplotlib, etc. libraries in detail. I will provide that link to you, that Udemy course link. You can enroll into that if you want, or just keep following our series, subscribe to our channel so that you can receive more interesting videos like this. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.